I'm not going to have this powered on for too long because it makes so much noise you won't be able to hear me, and I want to bitch about it a bit more, but we have the 220 volt outlet that I headed to my office. The noise is just a single power supply running at the moment. That supply is enough to cool the fan that you hear is enough to cool just the supply, but it is enough power out of this to bring up the mid-plane. You can see the lights, the fans aren't going, you'd know it, but they are ready, the switches are on, and the DRAC is on, so you can power the unit up remotely in a state like this. When the unit is actually fired up, however, and you can see I've got a couple blades out at the moment. Since I'm only using the two, there's no point wasting electricity for the rest of them. But, oh, and we have a little flashing light here, you can see. It's pissed off because I have three of the four supplies, or sorry, two of the three supplies are disconnected. Again, to save power. There's no point in me plugging all the supplies in when I've only got two blades running. Each of the supplies produces 2100 watts. The chassis is supposed to consume 400 watts. Each of these are 300 watts. And that's at maximum, of course. It's not actually using that. But again, no point in having all of the supplies hooked in to the power grid, so this is it, damned annoyed. Curiously though, even without the supplies plugged into the mains power, the chassis can fire up the fans and the supplies. So when I do power it on, all of the fans in the unit are going, even if those two supplies that are unhooked don't have power into them off the 220 line. And now we've decided that we're not actually on fire and we can bring it down to minimum temperatures. So, nice and quiet again. If we wanted to power the individual blades on, either we do it from the DRAC in the back, which is, as I said, IP enabled, or we can tell one of the blades individually to turn on by hitting the power button right there. Now, so far it's relatively impressive looking. I have a few problems with this, and I guess this is the difference between a Dell and an IBM or a Sun blade center, for example. This is consumer grade. It looks enterprise. PowerEdge is supposed to be an enterprise product. It is consumer grade. It has 1000-bit NICs, Gig E, we're happy there. Reasonable density, lots of power. 2100 watts per supply, good Christ almighty. But the DRAC, which, you know, for a remote administrator would be the primary method of talking to this, is a piece of garbage. Oh my God, talk about the most ineptly designed software. It crashes every browser I have. It doesn't even work in Firefox. It won't hand off a certificate to it. Safari has a conniption fit over it. The Java is abysmal. It barely runs. Each time you bring up the KVM and you want to switch to a different blade, you have to completely shut the damn KVM software down, the browser down, the Java down, everything like that, bring it all back up again, or else it'll bomb. It is awful, stunningly, abysmally, painfully bad. The RAID controller in this, now PRC is a good, you know, it's a good branded controller. PERCs have been around forever. The ones in this apparently are the cheapest PERC they ever made that Dell could scudge out because it is seriously dodgy. These are running in a RAID 0, a mirroring configuration right now, at least the two blades that I have running. Both of them had a disk failure. Like I said, it's used equipment from the office, so, or at least from the data center rather, from me. I wasn't too fussed. I have a few more disks to steal from. Trying to convince the damn RAID controller to rebuild the array, oh, what a nightmare. It was utterly convinced that I had made an error and I would not possibly want to rebuild this array. So the first blade took a weekend for it to sync up. After I managed to convince it, the second blade would not do it. In fact, this isn't the second, this is like the fourth or fifth. The second one's over here. I know, only I can remember this crap, but the blade, I switched out disks in and out. It knew that one disk was good, it knew what the disk was the primary, it knew the other disk was, or should have been, the secondary, and then synchronize up. Refused to allow me to select the other one as secondary. Now, I did a complete reset to defaults. There's no reason it shouldn't have worked. It is, I mean, undoubtedly there's a way to make it do it. I'm obviously not smart enough. The documentation is piss poor. It has the least intuitive interface of a RAID controller I've ever seen. Anyway, like I said, I needed to bitch about something. The other oddity with the RAID controller is these two blades here are identical. Well, this is dual 3 GHz, this is dual 2.8 GHz Xeons. Elsewise, they are exactly the same. Same BIOS revision, same RAID controller BIOS revision, same disks, max stores, 36 gig, 15K SCSIs, okay? They couldn't be more the same. They're both running a fresh install as of last week of Debian 5 Lenny. This second one here, or third one depending whose point of view it is, gets 90 some megabytes per second disk throughput, which is good. I mean, I should expect that. This one gets 32 megabytes per second disk throughput. Got no clue, no idea. Both of them are refreshed to the default settings for the RAID controller, so there shouldn't be anything funny sitting out there that I'm missing. I don't know what the hell it's up to. Anyway, so there you have it. The Dell PowerEdge 1855. It looks cool. When it's firing, when it's working, it's not bad. I like it. It's better than what I had before. I'm not complaining. Too much. Well, okay, maybe a bit too much. Anyways, if you have one, my apologies. If you're looking for one, cough up and buy a son. Do yourself a favor.